Yo, what is up everyone? Back here with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be going over Lunala, and we're going to be talking about what does Lunala do. So we did this video with Kyogre last time. Now we're on Lunala, so we're going to be talking about Lunala. I'm going to be talking to you guys about 3 different Lunala builds that kind of highlight what it does in the format. Some of them I've built personally myself, some of them have been inspired by other teams, but I'll be able to talk to you guys about all that, give you guys enough details. So pretty much Lunala is a mon very centered around bulk, and you'll notice for the Lunala sets, there's actually only one real Lunala set, which I'm going to take you guys through. So this set is always going to be like Power Herb Meteor Beam, pretty much where you're going to see the variety in terms of what it does is pretty much the last move slot. So like these usually are guaranteed moves, and then depending on your composition, you'll have something like Expanding Force, Psy Shock, Protect, or Wide Guard, right? In this case, usually I think like Protect's the most safe unless you have like Psychic Terrain. But yeah, so what is Lunala's purpose? Lunala is a bulky Tricker Mon that can also put on a lot of offense with its powerful Moongeist beams, especially after they're boosted by the special attack boost coming from Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam gives Lunala another way to deal with Incineroar as well, so it's a super nice option. And its speed tier is pretty decent for both Trick Room and being out of Trick Room, so even if you wanted to run it with like a mix kind of Tailwind Trick Room mode, it works. And if not, it's still a pretty solid speed tier to do so. Lunala is also really good into majority of the mons in the format, I'd say. The main places it really struggles is versus... I think pretty much the only place it really struggles versus is like when its Shadow Shield's broken, random mons with dark coverage. So for example, like Entei, Calyrex Shadow can be really difficult for it, and obviously itself, that could be a little annoying for it. And dark types too can be annoying for it. So you can have to position your dark types properly. Less so Incineroar, more so other darks that don't have the Meteor Beam weakness. So going over to the first team example I wanted to give you guys. So yeah, pretty much there's only one Lunala set, so there's not too much to talk about there. So first example I want to go through, this was actually something that was used by David Kutesh in World Cup. I pretty much made an edited version of his team based on a couple of meta changes, what I thought was a little more appropriate. So we're going to be going through the team one by one. So pretty much Incineroar is like key to teams like pretty much any Lunala team because it allows you to fake out. You can go for fake out Trick Room. You can Parting Shot, kind of lower the stats of your opponent, then, you know, get yourself in a position to really go for a good attack. You can do a lot. And Throat Chop also prevents other Incineroars from snarling you or going for Parting Shot, which is really essential. So it's just a really nice option there. And just very important overall to just kind of advancing your game and preventing like any weird turns where pretty much your Lunala is getting dropped stat-wise, right? So then we go over here to Vish. So Vish, I'm actually just running Vicious Run and Sleep Talk. You can run other moves on a Choice Band set, but then don't run Sleep Talk. Basically, the reason why it's Vicious Run and Sleep Talk is if you're in Trick Room versus a Moongus, that's a great way to stop this team, actually. Fake Out isn't really a viable option because you have Psychic Terrain. So what they could potentially try and do is just go for a Spore. So what you can do is, if you have Sleep Talk and Vicious Rend, the move will always default to Vicious Rend, which means you're going to be able to spam the Vicious Rend, and they can't do anything about it, even if they try and put you to sleep. So it's just a really nice option there. You can also potentially go for something like Mystic Water Substitute set, but I think this is personally a bit of a better set. So yeah, that's pretty much the main thing that it'll be trying to accomplish here. And like Dracovish has pretty decent bulk too, so that should be nice. Then Lunala, pretty straightforward, the same set I mentioned. This set is running Psy Shock because of Indeedy. You basically get the Psychic Terrain, so you kind of get a boost off of that. Also, too, the nice thing is that you also get like Helping Hand plus Psy Shock with the Psychic Terrain boost, so that you can go for like really strong damage. And that with like a Meteor Beam boost is even more threatening to certain like teams. So it can just be a really nice option. Stack Attack is pretty straightforward. All the Stack Attackers I have are running the set. You can always change out Stone Edge for Rock Slide, depending on your preference, and you can always change Body Press for Protect. Personally, I like Body Press a lot. I think you always want to run it, but I know there's some people who don't, so, you know, it's kind of up to you. But Gyro Ball is essential, Rock Coverage is essential, Trick Room is essential, and then this is a little more optional, but... yeah, you basically need that. A Stack Attacker gives you your ability to answer Xerneas. It gives you an answer to Yveltal. It gives you an answer to Incineroar beyond just Meteor Beam Lunala, right? Because you're not always going to have the immediate pressure with Meteor Beam once you've used it up. And you're not always going to land it into Incineroar. That's not really reasonable to expect. So that's the main point there. Oh, excuse me. Indeedy over here. So Indeedy is running Psychic Seed. This basically means it can take any special hit, mostly concerning anything related to offensive Eveltal with Dark Pulse, which isn't too common anyways. +2 Moonblast from Xerneas, which it takes pretty comfortably. And then also the pretty much any special move, actually. I was trying to think of a specific example, but honestly just like any special move that is intended to take. Also, this is a good point to say in the video, as we're almost to a first team. All these teams and their EV spreads will be on the Patreon. So Patreon is where you guys can support me besides the videos. If you guys would like to, you can subscribe there, and you guys will get access to the teams that we use or teams that we show in these kind of videos with all the EV spreads. So obviously, you guys have access to sets. The EVs are something that's exclusive for Patreon. Also, too. If you guys haven't already, make sure to check out the Twitch, where you guys can get access to or just more so just see kind of different things going on with the format, what I'm playing, just me playing battles, right? So it's just really helpful. Last thing too, before we continue with the video, coaching as well. If you guys would like to improve at the game and you guys would like to grow, make sure to check out coaching. I help people with coaching as well. But yeah. So pretty much going through all of those, I think that's the main point of Indeedy here. You pretty much get the ability to go for Helping Hand. So one thing I also want to do before we continue on in the video was question of the day. So for you, right, what is your favorite restricted and why is it your favorite restricted? And which one? And second question is which restricted would you guys like to see me do next? And then over here, Mingchao. We have VGC. It's pretty straightforward. Knockoff lets you have another answer for Calyrex, and Close Combat gives you an answer break Incineroar, right? Wide Guard also too prevents Astral Barrage from connecting on your Lunala, and it prevents Water Spout from absolutely destroying your team while you're trying to set Trick Room or whatever, right? So it gives you a bunch of options. Fake Out 2 also enables kind of that setup. May seem counterproductive to 2 Fake Out Mons, but you're not always bringing a DD. Oh my god. Oh my yawning like nuts. But yeah, no, they're not always going to be, They're not always going to be in Psychic Terrain, so it just makes sense. So that's the first team. Second team, so this team is utilizing Psychic Terrain as well, but this time with Lele. So I had built this team personally on my own. So the idea is that you have a matchup into pretty much any team. The Lunala also needs to be fast enough to be able to take advantage of both Tailwind and Trick Room. So this team will also be on the Patreon as well. Pretty much, it's the same concept. This is the main core, so Lunala, Stack Attack, and Incineroar, Moongus. You're pretty much meant to play pretty heavily around your Lunala and Stack Attack, putting on offense, right? Just going for consistent parting shots, spores, pollen puffs onto yourself to really keep your core safe. And then the Lele Mandibuzz are for opposing Calyrex teams with Nihilego and also just some other different things. It's really good in the Groudon as well. But yeah, so pretty much the way it plays in the Calyrex is basically to deal with the problem of Mingchao plus Nihilego, because that lead is actually really good into Lunala teams if you don't have an answer for that. Even having Mandibuzz isn't enough. So the specific answer to that is actually Choice Scarf Lele with Psyshock plus Mandibuzz, because you can Psyshock the Nihilego, remove the Nihilego. Mingchao obviously can't remove anything, so it doesn't matter if it fakes out. And if it's a Calyrex Mingchao lead, you can go for a Scarf Shadow Ball with Tapu Lele, which just removes the Calyrex immediately, right? So it kind of gives you a lot of options there, which is really nice. So that's one cool thing you can do. Also, too, Mandibuzz is a pretty reliable, Tailwind setter. Also, too, it's just a really nice kind of support mon for your team. So usually it'll come in matchups where you don't really want to bring like a Moongus, or you don't really want to bring Incineroar, and like you need another option that's going to help your Lunala, Stack Attack, Lele stuff. But yeah, it gives you a bunch of options. It's super cool. I really like Mandibuzz with Lunala. I think they actually complement each other very well. Also kind of helps versus opposing Lunala, and the Psychic Seed makes that even better. Lele, as I mentioned, just pretty much offense, giving you the Psychic Terrain. It may seem weird that we're not running a Psychic move on the Lunala, but it's more so you can forego that coverage because you're running it, because you're running a Lele. Also, all the moves on Lele are really important. Spread damage, single target Moonblast, which lets you hit Dark types like Yveltal. Shadow Ball lets you hit Calyrex, and then Psyshock lets you break Nihilego. You can't do Psychic because of Nihilego's high special defense, it wouldn't be able to get the KO, and you need these other 2 moves, plus this move. So you pretty much need the other 3. This one has to be Psyshock. For this Lunala, Protect is really important, especially too when there's a potential of Tailwind and Trick Room being set. It's just very helpful, and it kind of lets you position. A lot of people target into Lunala thinking it has no protect as well, so it actually is really nice. Also, too, Stack Attack, a similar set. You pretty much just need this set to do a lot of damage in Trick Room. Just able to take advantage of that speed control and really put on pressure. So this Incineroar is going to be running Taunt. This is so you have an Amoonguss matchup besides the Tapu Lele and the Safety Goggles Stack Attacka. This just prevents Amoonguss from kind of running through your team. You don't really want to lose because you just get Spored. And this thing can also help versus Venusaur too when you can just taunt it. So it's just a really nice combination. Then over here, we're going to look at the Amoonguss. So Amoonguss pretty much running Grass Knot, Pollen Puff, Rage Powder, Spore. So you may be like, well, why is there no Protect? Mostly you don't need it. Also, too, Grass Knot's essential for helping your Kyogre matchup a little bit. Rage Powder obviously is good to protect your teammates. Pollen Puff, you need to heal your teammates. This is how your team stays alive. Especially, too, when the team is more so reliant around Lunala Stack Attacka. Constantly healing back Lunala and giving it back its Shadow Shield, and healing Stack Attack and just giving it back its health is just really nice. And then Spore is obviously a really good option to status opponents. So just a really nice option there. So that's the Lunala Tail Room team. And then the final one I wanted to show was going to be the Lunala Serena team. Marco Fierro used something similar to this early in the format in the first Series 10 tournament, and we've seen kind of similar builds of this kind of develop over time. The original build did have a, what's it called? Ditto. I was actually messing around with this, and I wanted to, what's it called? Check this out while we were talking the video. Okay, it doesn't. So I was going to say another thing you could do if it was an option is actually run Roar, but it doesn't get it this gen, which kind of sucks. But yeah, Zapdos anyways is really good into opposing Zacian teams, so you're not 100% reliant on just like the Finny, the stack, you know, all this. So pretty much like Lunala, Zapdos, Incineroar, and Stack Attack are all putting pressure on versus Zacian. Zapdos really good into the Rillaboom and the Rillaboom, Urshifu, Zacian, and Incineroar core pretty much. And then you have Terrain Change with this. This prevents you from getting spored by Amoonguss. Figgy Berry and Incineroar also prevents you from getting destroyed by like Urshifu because you can actually live the Surging Strikes. And then, what's it called? You have Parting Shot. Throat Chop prevents the Parting Shots and Snarls coming into your team, which is just really nice. Then we go over to Serena. So, the stretcher. Okay. Serena basically prevents the big water moves pretty much from kind of tearing your team apart. Obviously, Incineroar and Stack Attack are the main primary ones weak to that. But also, too, Serena gives you Queenly Majesty, which blocks stuff like Sucker Punch, which is also problematic for Lunala. And it also can block Fake Out, which is also really bad when you're trying to abuse your Trick Room mode. So it's just a really nice option. Also, too, the Triple Axle Payback is for coverage for the ground types that you need to. So specifically Landorus with Triple Axle. And then the Payback is for Calyrex Shadow. You need another matchup for Calyrex Shadow, or rather something to make it a little more comfortable, and that's kind of what it does. Stack Attack is the same thing as I've mentioned the previous times. Your offensive Trick Room mode here can really be a majority of things because you're setting Trick Room, right? Serena's really good in Trick Room. Finny's really good in Trick Room. Stack Attack is really good in Trick Room. Even Lunala, right? I kind of wish Zapdos got Tailwind because I think that would make this team all the much better. It used to get Tailwind in previous formats, but it doesn't. So it's kind of stuck being a Roost and like Heatwave Thunderbolt bot. You could also consider Hurricane here over Protect, but I honestly think that Protect's a little bit better. But yeah, and then Protect's just really important for keeping Lunala safe. You don't need the Psychic move. You're not getting Psychic Terrain boost, and you already have enough for Amoonguss with the Misty Surge Lele. Or Misty Surge, my bad, Finny. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this version of the team. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I want to take you guys through 3 different versions of the teams that were good. I wanted to talk you through the one Lunala set. There was actually not really much other sets. I kind of looked around, but you really need the Power Herb Meteor Beam for it to be good. So that's the main thing overall with the Mon itself. But yeah, it's more so a Lunala is like good because of its partners, and it also like if it gives something to its partners, it's like a give and take. Like its partners need to do something for it, but it also needs to do something for its partners, and like it's one of those restrictors that needs to be built around very specifically, hence why you're seeing like Stack Attack there majority of the time, as it typically gives a Xerneas matchup. So yeah, thank you guys again for supporting the videos. As always, make sure to check out coaching, make sure to check out Patreon, and make sure to check out all other things. And yeah, just thank you for supporting the videos, as always. I just incredibly appreciate it. It means a lot. So you know, happy to keep doing these and keep working through the metagame with you guys and helping you guys out. So thank you guys again, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.